What's up, everyone? NanMan here, and we've got a kind of new school versus old school matchup for you today. Today we've got Bant Nadu versus Boros Burn. Now this is a really interesting one because the Burn deck has kind of fallen off a bit in the years since, especially since Modern Horizons 3, it's kind of not the kind of go-to deck. But a lot of times, Burn was the go-to red deck, and oftentimes the go-to introductory deck for players getting into Modern. I would argue it might be Prowess now, as that has filled that slot. It's just the consistency and the speed and just like the play style. It's very easy to understand how these interactions work and stuff like that. This is really interesting because the Boros Burn player started picking up pieces for this deck and getting into Modern at SCGCon Richmond earlier in the year. Didn't play Modern at all, wanted to get into Modern, and as a good introductory deck, Burn was that kind of outlet in there. So we're going to see some unique cards in this person's list, but it's for the most part a traditional Boros Burn style with, hey, we've got like the Goblin Guides, we've got the Swift Spirits, the Eidolons, we're running burn spells. But because this player is new to Modern, they have access to, different views of cards and different evaluations. So we're going to see some specific ones that might not be in traditional lists. We'll get to that when we get to that here. But we've got Bant Nadu. It's considered the boogeyman of the format. It's kind of ramp out, play Shuko, play Nadu, profit, right? Let's see what we got here. A nice little trigger off the Goblin Guide. Getting more lands. Already just kind of stripping away, taking some damage here. But Goblin Guide doesn't really see as much play anymore, but used to be kind of that clock that you'd put on your opponents there. And now there's a little Lava Spike. So already turn 2, we've done 7 damage to our opponent. Which, in a world of fetches and shocks, there's a reason why Burn has stuck around as a strategy within Modern. But like I said, it's kind of transitioned and pivoted more to a prowess style for a lot of players getting into Modern and going for a red strategy compared to the traditional Burn stuff. But we will see. We know that there's going to be a Nadu coming out. There it is. We know. And Nadu very nice against Burn in that regard of it's got 4 toughness here. But we're going to get got by a new addition, this Ghostfire Slice here. Costs 3 mana, or if your opponent controls a multicolored permanent, in this case, Nadu, you do 4 damage to any target. So that could be to face, that could be to the Nadu, something that I was not prepared for at all. So there's a nice little blowout of our Nadu there, stripping away our wall that we were trying to create, our one part of our combo piece that we needed. And there's a nice little Eidolon to go, hey, anything else that you want to try to play out here is going to hurt you. There's the Goblin Guide trigger. We get a breeding pool off it. But the Eidolon, anything that costs 3 or less. So that's Nadu, that's Shuko, that's Springheart Nantuko. That's all of the things that we need to start our combo is going to cost us 2 life. So if we need 3 pieces, right? That's 6 damage that we have to take just to get started there, putting us to 5 life, assuming nothing else happens. All right. And we don't have the mana to play out all of those things now. We have the mana to be able to play out a Nadu. We have the mana to play out a Shuko. And here we go, start mathing out and counting out and trying to determine a line to help us here. So we must not have the Nadu or the Shuko in hand. And now we're going to lose 2 life, so we get a little bit more mana. So we have a Cord. So it looks like we're going for the Cord. Cording for 2. Can get a Springheart. Yeah, this is a push for damage. Well, that's costs 3 mana and part of the combo. All right, let's cord up here. Chord of Calling, search our library for something that costs 2 mana. So you can get Spring Heart. You could get... I don't know. I don't know if we're just kind of hurting for options. This is the 4-color version, not the 5-color version. Or it's the 3-color version, not the 4-color version. So you don't get things like Bowmasters or stuff like that. Yeah, Wall of Roots is kind of the... Let's get a blocker out. We can start getting mana if we get another Chord of Calling, which I believe we have a second Chord of Calling in hand, which is part of the issue. Do we need more mana to start going for other things?
How many cards in hand? 3 cards in hand. We'll block here.
So we'll do some blockers, take some damage, down to 7. Our opponent has quite a lot of cards in hand. Okay, 1, 2, 3. All right, so there's the Spring Heart Nantuko. We're going to go for the Bestow on the Wall of Roots to try to make an army of blockers and generate a lot more mana, it looks like here. So now this Wall of Roots is a 1/6. And Urza Saga is nice. So now we're starting in this stabilization here. Able to make a token. I just pull it out of my Yawgmoth deck and just like, here's another Wall of Roots. Otherwise, we'd make a 1/1 insect instead of the Wall of Roots, the copy of it. Making a wall. Setting up a lot of walls. So, yeah, we're in this big setup here. Okay, let's try to stabilize and set ourselves up. Here's a Boros Charm. We'll take 4. He said, "Oh, did you lose the 2 life for that?" And I said, "Oh, no. I did not lose 2 life off of it." Every deck that I play always just gets hosed by Eidolon. I just take so much damage all the time for it. And hey, there's another Ghost Fire Slice to deal 4 damage to target player, because you can deal it to any target. And I have no way to respond to it. It said, here's a chord. Even if I chord up and search for something, maybe... So this is the thing. It's like, instead of me going for the Wall of Roots... No, because last time I would have had to spend all my mana to do it. So we go searching and looking for an option. The Haywire Might is the other option, right? You could sack it, destroy an enchantment or artifact, gain 2 life. So it's like, I don't know. It's if we had the mana last time, it would have worked out well, right? We would have been able to have sat here, played it, exiled this, but we didn't have the mana to be able to tutor for it and also do it. If we had paid enough attention, we could have courted for 1 and done that last time. But, you know, we're still learning the deck, so there's going to be some little misplays and stuff like that. But I don't think it would have made much of a difference. We still would have died in the end here, maybe. So... All right, going into game 2, we get some sideboarding options here. Try to come up with something that can be able to help piece together a way to fight against this burn deck. Which, in a way, you know, we have access to things like Burton Forge Tenders and stuff like that. But it's also, we can just Shadow Spears are nice because we can get some life linking going, but we really just kind of want to go, all right, let's just try to go a little fast and see if we can get it online and moving as fast as we can. There's another Goblin Guide. And another Nadu on top. Same thing as game one. We're just like, all right, here's a bird. We know what's coming up. Fetchland. So leading with the island is okay. There's the Shuko. So the other part of the combo that we need now. Leading with an island. My list does run a little bit more islands than most players do, but I also still run Thassa's Oracle as my win con in mind because looping things doesn't seem as enjoyable to me as just like, all right, well, here's the win. All right, here's the fetching. Get another mountain. Now, if you are looking to get into Modern, I know some players are like, oh, this Nadu stuff, I don't want to be playing Modern during this time. Take a break. It's okay. Wait for a little bit. Come back 6 months, see what the meta's like, see if there's a deck that speaks to you. Right after a set comes out, like Modern Horizons, thing is, like, the meta is in pure chaos, and it's in free-for-all as players try to sit here and have an arms race to find out what is the best deck and how to beat the best deck. We've clearly established Nadu's the best deck. I believe Mono Black Necro Dominance deck is a close second to that. You know, it's going to be interesting to see some decks that have died off. Will they come back as things stabilize, or will they just be gone after this? All right, so Ragavan, like we talked about, this is, of course, our Boros Burn player playing some cards that, you know, they've just started getting into Modern. They're playing cards that maybe not traditionally would be in a burn list. But Ragavan's one of those cards that has started to fall off in the current meta. It doesn't work as well, but we will see some push for damage here. There's a Chord of Calling on top. No blocks. Go to damage. Don't care about the Chord. We'll fetch that away. We need access to some more green mana here. We got to be able to play out our Nadu. All right, at this point in time, get to do some Surveillance. Another good one to pick up, but that's what I was talking about, and I think I got distracted on. If you're looking to get into Modern, now is also a time to pick up fetch lands, because Modern Horizons 3 has released fetch lands, and a lot of them are cheaper than some of the Surveil lands right now. Right? Some of the Surveil lands are going for like $13 to $15, and some of these fetch lands are $9, $10 each. So pick up your fetch lands now. They're worth it. Grab a play set of them. You will be very happy. You can run them in Commander decks. You can run them in Cube. You can run them in Modern. You can run them in Legacy. Pick up fetch lands. Because later on, once the set is out of rotation and not as widely opened, we're going to be seeing some problems with that. And missing a land drop is very painful here. But we get our Springheart Nantuko out. Put the Shuko on it. I mean, the deck runs, a lot of lands, 20-something. 26, 27 or something I feel like I'm at. Oh, there's the Eidolon again. All right, but we're at a much healthier life total here, 15. So we could trade off if we wanted to. Trigger first, we get a land, which is nice. We needed a land. And now it's the debate, do we block? Take 4, go to 11, but we have a land would put us to 9. Play our Nadu and start going next turn. There's another land. Well, there's a treasure token. Okay, let's see. Is this the time? Is this the combo? Are we going? Lose 2 life, go to 9. Lose 2 life, go to 7 to play Nadu. We make an insect here. Over there hunting for my insect tokens, I think.
Trigger. There's an insect.
There's our insect.
Okay.
Let's pop this. Lose 2 life. Lightning bolt the Nantuko. Nantuko dies.
Let's attempt to cast Nadu.
So here's our Nadu. We have 2 creatures to work with to try to hope for the best. So here's our little tracker so we could track it. Have they been equipped 0 times? 1 time. Let's do the first time. Reveal the top card. It is a non-land. Goes to our hand. Let's do the second time. There's another Springheart and Nantuko. Swap it with this because my others were not in time by the time this was recorded. Now, of course, I have my playset, but... And a Surveil land. We were hoping for an untapped land. Did not happen. What are we surveilling? Do it again. Is it a land? It is a land. All right. We need... Okay. Oh, yeah, we lose 2 life. Really want the Springheart and Nantuko, but we don't have the mana to do it, so we have to play another creature to keep going. Okay. Now we've got the mana we need to play Springheart and Nantuko. Fetch, go to 4. We're going to go to 2 here, but might be able to go. We might be able to do it. There's an island. Again, I run more islands than most lists because of the Thassa's Oracle and stuff. Here's a Springheart Nantuko. Going to 2. Let's do once. Urza Saga. Make an insect. Let's do it again. Activate. Another Springheart Nantuko. No green mana to keep it going, though. All right, let's do it. A Wall of Roots. And a Wall of Roots. So that very slim, very unlikely chance to have happen, we fizzled. We fizzled here. So we were the joke. Okay, we were supposed to hit a land drop so we can keep going, and we got 3 non-lands in a row, which happens. You know, like I said, there's a non-0% chance that you could fizzle. It's very low, very very short, small chance, especially once you have the pieces that you need. But you know, wanted to showcase this because this is one of those. Hey, you had that opportunity and it's now gone. So let's load up the Nadu and hope for the best. We had to go to 2 life to do it, so they just need 1 burn spell to get us. So there it is. There's the lava spike. So very quick, easy game for our Boros burn player there. And we got to see a little bit of the Nadu shenanigans, and we got to also just see it kind of fizzle and flop there. But burn isn't as popular right now because, you know, it's it's tough, but we got to see at least, hey, if you want to get into Modern, Burn's still a perfectly viable way to learn the format and get into it. You just have to be aware that you might get hit with some combo-y stuff like the Nadu stuff, and they might not fizzle like I did in this practice game that we did there. But hope you guys have been enjoying our content. Remember, every Monday and Thursday we've got gameplay content for you, and then a couple sprinklings of history videos and ban list stuff, and just a little bit more long-form content. Also got some cube stuff coming up, some commander stuff coming up, so lots of cool content in the works. But thanks so much for tuning in and watching, everybody. I'll see you all next game.